got my trade-in from earlier in the week. I traded an old axe head for some Old Hickory knives. So I went to the Ontario Old Hickory webpage and looked at knives that they make now and knives that they've made in the past, and I'm coming up on almost a complete set. This is the 3.5-inch paring knife. There's one more paring knife. It's 4.5 inches or 4 inches long. This one's the 8-inch chef's knife. This one is called the slicer. It's also 8 inches. This is the 8-inch butcher knife. And then there's also a 7-inch butcher knife. And if you step outside of the Old Hickory line, this is in Ontario, a straight Ontario without the Old Hickory name, and this one will fill in another gap. This is a pretty good slicer by itself. What I'm missing is a utility knife with the Old Hickory name. These are Chicago Cutlery, and these are a good name by themselves, but it's, you know, as long as you're collecting, you might as well stay with the same brand name. These two are Chicago Cutlery. Utility knives are the next in line to be collecting. Eventually, I'm not going to go out looking for them, but they'll. I didn't show up. I didn't even think about collecting a whole set until I ended up with almost a complete one by circumstance. Chicago Cutlery. This one is a thrift store find. It's a high carbon low stain steel, and they've gone out of their way to make you think that it's US made, but it's made in Japan, which is okay because the Japanese know how to make good steel too. So and then this one here is it was marked on the blade, and then I ended up taking the name off when I cleaned it up with some sandpaper. This is a I can't even think of the manufacturer. If you go to the H.J. Epstein, Harry J. Epstein webpage, they're a hardware store out of Kansas City, and you type in the word Pathfinder. This is the knife that's going to show up. I've been using this, so my hand has put a little bit of oil on the handle, but when it shows up, it's going to be a bare wood handle, and it's going to have a crude handle shape, but they're expected to be basically a starter kit so that you can take a file or sandpaper and make it fit your hand. That one also comes with a leather sheath, so that's an okay deal too. And then the things that I fill out my fishing kit with to save the edges on my fillet knives for actually fillet work. This is a Walmart special utility knife. I think it says Farberware on it. I keep these in the bag so that I can use them for the heavy-duty cutting work, like cutting through the scales, going through heads, chipping through the harder parts, so that I don't have to worry about the edge on my fillet knife. Another thing that I've discovered here and there. This is a genuine Mora. Mora makes more than just the knives that are seen around the internet. This is a farrier's knife. It's intended to be used to take care of the hooves of horses and cows, other hooved animals that you keep around long enough that their feet could become an issue. This is a solid piece of steel. It's dipped in this rubber handle, but other than that, this is completely solid all the way from one end of the red to the tip over there. And it costs just about as much as a regular Mora. So if you were looking for a good piece of steel to form your own knife, this is pretty much already, it's already a ready deal. It's already a ready constructed deal for you. You just got to do a little bit of shaping on the point and on the back side, drill some holes in the handle, attach some scales, or figure out, you could even leave this red handle if you want. It's already got a really thick spine, so if you wanted a utensil with you that's ready built to beat on the spine with a hammer or a piece of wood for splitting firewood, this is, this never was a knife. This is a tool to begin with. So yeah, this is the perfect answer for your firewood needs. Another piece. This isn't a Old Hickory. This was made by a company called Clyde. And Clyde was in business on the eastern side of Ohio, and their cutlery factory burned to the ground in the early 1960s. So I looked on eBay at the right time of the year. If you look during Christmas time, man, you just might as well open up a vein because they're going to bleed you for everything that they can get out of you. But if you look at other times of the year, you can find some pretty good deals. So I got this cleaver. This is new, old stock. It was 40 years old, or it's probably close to 50 years old when I got it. And it was brand spanking new. So this is really handy for veg prep, for slicing, dicing, for doing all kinds of things. A lot of the times I use it with my hand halfway between the handle and the blade. I stick the point in the cutting board and then just rock it down, and it'll, even the hard cutting things where you slap and bang going through carrots with a regular knife, even a chef's knife, this goes through with hardly even a sound. So sometimes weight, leverage, having your hand right above the work is a better deal than no matter how sharp you go about trying to make your kitchen knife. So that's my opinion. Your mileage might vary, but there we go. This is another high carbon steel. It's a no name. It's got the plain handle. It's a full tang, 9 inches long, and basically I would call that a bread knife, or a slicer. It would almost be a butcher knife, but it's not. It's just not heavy enough. So a slicer would actually probably be a better description for it. This was basically a utility knife, and then it's been about 3/4 used up. That's another one that's got no name, but this has got a better hardwood handle. It's got half tang, 2 rivets, the rest of it's solid wood. But this is a nice, flexible utility knife, probably a boning knife that I'm going to use it till I can't, is what it amounts to, because it's no matter whether it's big brand name or not, it's still a very functional, very utilitarian quality knife. So now I just need to, I've got handmade sheaths for many of them. I got to make some more for the rest. They store better when the blades are covered. So got to do some cleaning up and got to do some sharpening, and then we're going to put them to use. How about that? See ya.